Well, it's the moment we've all been waiting for to get the details of Canada Farm Show 2021 and what we can expect from this year's show. Joining us in studio is Tim Reid, President and CEO of Regina Exhibition Association Limited, also the one basically handling the decisions when it comes to Farm Show. Is that fair?
I don't know about that. We're pretty fortunate in the fact that we've got a big committee that helps us out of some of the best producers and manufacturers kind of guiding the vision. And I can't thank them enough for helping us get to the decisions that we made. And, it's not a live show. It's not what we love and it's not what we're used to, but it's certainly better than a cancellation. And we're really excited because it maintains the relevance of the show and it connects people and provides an innovation and education experience, which is exactly what we need at these times, probably more than ever.
For sure. And I want to touch on, obviously, last year we had to make the unfortunate decision to cancel Farm Show during the global pandemic that we're still seeing affect many of us across the globe. What was the shift or what was the decision behind going virtual and doing it this way?
Well, obviously, our hope was always to do a traditional show. And for over 40 years, we've been able to host Farm Show. And it's really been a driver for the local visitor economy. And we recognize it's important to us, but we also recognize that it fills hotel rooms, it fills restaurants, and it brings trade to the Regina and Southern Saskatchewan region, which is so important. Now, above all that, it generates hundreds of millions of dollars of GDP for our province. And we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to continue those business and those transactions. And so by going virtual, we allow our manufacturers, our producers to still get in touch with their clients. We're all doing things a little bit different. And so no, it's not what we wanted. But credit to the committee and to our board of directors who said we do have to find a path forward for Farm Show. We can't go multiple years without an event, and virtual was the best option.
So what can people expect? I know we've talked a little bit earlier about how the program is going to be kind of released weekly, but what can you tell us that people can expect from the virtual show?
I think at the end of the day, it's going to be very similar to what you'd experience in live. Unfortunately, the challenge is going to be we're all going to be disconnected and physically distanced and all the things that we need to be these days, but we're still going to have an opportunity to have some of the fantastic keynote speakers, some of the guest speakers that we've had. We're going to have the discussion panels of leaders in the agriculture industry. We're going to talk about innovation in the industry through our farm talks, and we're going to talk about new technologies. We're going to have an opportunity to connect with the global supply market and work through the province and how we provide an opportunity for our local manufacturers, our producers, to get access to a world that is very different now than it was even a couple years ago. So all those core elements that you would traditionally see are still going to be there. Just not as much fun, shiny equipment that we can all stare at, and probably not nearly as many swag bags as you'd walk away with in an average year.
Hey, you know what? At least there's still the opportunity to connect, and I know we've talked about it before, but why was this so important to be able to still provide something to the exhibitors and partners?
We've talked about Farm Show changing for the last number of years, and we realized that the way we do business is different today than it has been for the last 40 years. We're connected differently, we're connected digitally, and we have been probably for a decade. I think COVID-19 has just shone a light on the fact that we have to be even better. And so why it was so important was we have some of the best agricultural leadership on the planet. And the reality of it is, as we talk about food security and food sustainability, those are items where Saskatchewan can play such a vital role. It's a place where Regina just positions so well in the global scheme of agriculture. And I think the ability to make sure that we contact our business leaders, our political leaders, and really those thought and knowledge seekers, not only through Regina but on a global stage, is so important. At the end of the day, this is about economic development. It always has been. It has been about growth of our community, and we're going to do our best to make sure that happens, even though it's in a virtual space.
That's amazing, and I know a lot of the feedback we have been hearing is great, and excitement that something is coming back. I don't want to open up a wound from last year, but it's something that many had to deal with, canceling shows. So I do want to just maybe talk about what it feels like for you and for the committee going from having to cancel something in 2020 that we were so excited about bringing to the public in person, and then seeing, going through the motions of not sure what we were doing, and now having this announcement out now that it's happening.
Well, I think one of the things we learned in 2020 was we got really good at canceling stuff. Like, we were fantastic at it by the end of the year. And we probably canceled more events than probably anybody in the province. And that was unfortunate. It was hard. And it meant some real sacrifices. It meant people lost their jobs or people went without work, or businesses really struggled to pay their bills. And we see that everywhere. But I think what we recognize is this is the first step towards recovery. And this is about learning from last year. It's about recognizing that we had to make decisions early so that we don't put our partners that are trying to truck equipment to Regina and plan trade show booths and staff accordingly, we don't put them in a compromised place where they're spending money that they don't have in these times. And so we made the decision quickly, but I think we also made the decision that we're still going to promote trade and we're going to celebrate agriculture. And so, it's a little bit different, but this is one step closer to being back to the times that we love and the times that, frankly, for us as an organization, we've been doing for 136 years. And I think there's a glimmer of hope in this. It's not what we want, but it's certainly better than nothing. And it's a heck of a lot better than it was last year, because at least we're talking about opening up and going back to normal.
Absolutely. One step forward, and hopefully we're going to see that just can be a domino effect for us in a good way, not a bad way. Going down.
In a great way.
What do people need to know in terms of registration and all that jazz if they are interested in signing up for the 2-day event?
I think the best part about this is it's free. And so part of this is we recognize times are tough. We know that these are challenging days, and we know that our partners have been there for a long time. So this is about business-to-business trade. It's about knowledge sharing. It's about innovation. It's about celebration of our agricultural economy. And so this is about, let's get as many people connected as we possibly can. So go to farmshows.com and register for free. Share it with your friends. Go early, go often, and share it with as many as you can. What's really great about this is we have such a diverse lineup of speakers and leaders in the industry. You really have an opportunity to connect however you may like. So if you want to watch the whole thing for 2 days, go for it. If you want to break it up into pieces, go for it. And if you want to go back and you want to grab pieces of content in the future because it is meaningful at a later date, you'll have that ability too. So farmshows.com, it's absolutely free, and we hope lots of people will tune in.
I think that's the nice thing is that we have been talking about that you can access it now, not only from your home, but from the field or wherever. So the accessibility versus the international visitors who wouldn't otherwise be able to perhaps hop on a plane and fly if we were doing it in person. How important is that international connection?
I think it's critical. And so as we've talked to our ministers and our political leadership, both regionally and provincially and then nationally, what we recognize is we have an ability to showcase the very best in agriculture here. And then we have the ability to take that in a digital form and connect it with the globe. And so to your point, we can't travel. We can't hop on a plane the way we used to. And that's unfortunate. And someday we'll be back to better times. But we will always have a need to connect virtually. And I think what this has allowed us to do is to create content now. And we're going to continue to create this content in the future that we can use to sell the very best of Saskatchewan on a global stage. And so ultimately this is about pieces of information, very specific, that we can share with interested clients, which is always what we've tried to do with Farm Show, is connect those looking to sell with those looking to buy for the betterment of the agricultural economy.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me in studio. We are so excited about Canada Farm Show going virtual this year, June 16th and 17th. You'll probably have a video up there somewhere.
I have no doubt. You know what? I can be the guy washing the tires on the tractors. Like, there's a few skills I have, but I think I could probably handle that.
Thanks so much for joining us,
you.
Tim.